1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock. You about to stop living, tick tock. I want you to remember me, tick tock. But the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing, I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
Evil DM here, Idols and Efreetis, another episode. We're back. So I was going over some things in my notes and I realized there was something that I wanted to cover in the past, but I did not cover up until now. It's called side adventures, or as I like to call them a side salad, because that's what they are. They're kind of like a little side serving of what's happening on the main dish or the main plot. So let's say you've run into this problem. You've prepared your game all week as a DM. You're ready to play and everything, and all of a sudden, you get a call out. You get players calling to you saying, hey, I can't make it, life happens. That happens. Things like that happen, and you can't exactly always 100% commit to everything. Sometimes you have things happen and you need to do something about it. So, and sometimes you're the player and this happens, and you're like, oh crap, I was looking forward to it all week. But as the DM, you have to decide something last minute, what you want to do here. And there's only a couple things that I've written down that might help you out. And we'll go over those individually. Like the first one is, should you cancel the game? It's probably the easiest thing to do, but also not the funnest option to do, because nobody gets to play and everybody wants to play. So let's move on to the next one. Second one, should you continue the main storyline? Chances are you probably left off somewhere, either with a cliffhanger or maybe at a point that where the group was going to do something important. Maybe it leads them to follow up on something or someone. Should you continue with only half the group, a quarter of the group? Tough call here. There's a lot of factors to play here, such as, will the group survive if you only do half the group as opposed to the full group or a quarter of the group? Also, will folks miss out on key story elements and treasure and gold and experience? Well, what about, do you have permission to allow players to run other characters for them? Generally it doesn't go well with other characters to allow, Tom to play Steve's character, unless they purposely say, hey guys, I'm not going to be here this week. Tim, will you, here's my character, will you run him next week? Please don't kill him. Those things like that, yeah, that's cool. Sometimes we roll with that, but it doesn't really go well, and most people don't like to continue the story without the full group. So the chance on that one, probably a low percentage of that happening. Run another game. I sometimes do this if we have a small group of people that made it to the game. I'll have some pre-written characters up. I'll just make up a full entire group for everybody. And I'll just say, hey guys, we don't have enough people tonight, as we found out. So tonight we're going to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for example. I know, random game. Here's the characters. Guys, pick it out and decide. Sometimes people find that fun because change is in order, and people like change once in a while. So that's probably a big possibility of that happening. Finally, the point of this video is, should you as a DM run a side adventure? Yes, absolutely, and I fully endorse that you run side adventures for things. My advice for this is probably, trying to think here. What I normally do for this situation is I will write up a couple of small side adventures, like dungeons and little quests that are nothing major to the storyline, or maybe they could be. But I go to places like Dungeon, and his website has a 1E dungeon generator. And I like to do that just to throw together a map, and it gives you like some monster suggestions for the level you want to pick. And all you have to do is have that folded in there with whatever you want to write in to add to it, and make sure it's updated on whatever level the characters of the group. So if your group is all level 2s, make sure it's generally relevant to that realm of level 2, and not give out too much XP or gold or have too much of a purpose. So you can do that, and just make sure that you have a couple of these written out in your binder ready to go. So in case you have to, boom, and update this every once in a while. So if the group advances in level 2, 3, 4, 5, every once in a while go in there and update it, because it's a good idea. Every time the bracket moves up, update what's in there so you're ahead of the game. Yeah, it's a little bit of work, but at least you're prepared for the future and this and this situation happens. Like I said, I normally have a couple of these little maps that are, sometimes I leave them blank with just descriptions and fill in the monsters myself on the fly, because I'm a very on the fly DM. Some DMs like to prepare, so they want everything written out, which is perfectly fine. You can write everything out how you want to do it and run it that way. So you can have this ready in case something happens. Now, I bet someone out there is probably saying, well, while my group was in the middle of a dungeon, or we were in the middle of a situation and we were camping in a secure area or something like that, which is very possible, because 90% of the time when you're playing the game, you're exploring something and the night ends and you're probably in a position that most of the time you can't just, you could just have to stop. Say, oh, we camped for the night, we'll continue next time. This happens all the time, and I've found various ways around that will take their character from the position that they're at the moment and moving them to where they need to be, and then back to that same position after you're done. Now, a couple methods that I've used is one called a dream sequence, which obviously you can tell what that is, which can tie into the main plot if you want. The big bad invades the character's dreams, transporting them into an open area in a new dungeon in which they needed to figure their way out. Everything is real and death is permanent. You can express this by, maybe have a little floating figure taunting them, telling them, and let them describe it as a dream sequence, but let them believe it's just a dream. And then once they start getting hit and hurt, and you realize it and explain to them that, if you die, you will die. Have that little floating ball or whatever. You're going to die. This is not just a dream, you a-holes. Or something like that. Second method, I don't think it's the best method, but I've seen a couple groups do this in the past. I've never used it because most people don't